Well, it's 3 a.m. in the morning on a very dark, wet Sunday. I am up and ready for the day ahead. Why? Why so early? Because I'm off to Kenya. So I'm going out there with Sense Charity. I've been very privileged to see some of the passion and the focus that they have on helping people in the UK with disabilities achieve the very best from their life, regardless of their situation or circumstances. And now I'm very fortunate and very privileged to be able to go out to Kenya with Sense International to see the work that they are doing out there with deafblind children in Nairobi and in the communities around there. So I thought I'd do some videos and take you with me so that you can see the work they do as well. Let's go. Morning, day one in Kenya, and we are off to meet two families, two young boys. Bravin is 3 and Sospita is almost 4, I think. So we're going to have a look at the work that Sense International do with them and the support that they give them, and just understand a little bit more about the background of their stories. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing what's involved. And now we've come for some traditional African lunch. So I'll probably show you.
Just one.
In the middle of the table there, we've got a chicken cooked in spices and herbs, and then we've got spinach on there, and this little green dome. It's a bit like mashed potato with all greens and veggies in, and corn. Really, really nice. So we're just tucking in and really enjoying it, actually. Of our first full day here in Kenya. We met Bravin and his mum Naomi, and we met Sospita and his mum Tabby. So both very different families, but both are supported and, you know, their lives completely altered by Sense International and the work that they are doing with them. So Bravin is completely blind, and he's had an occupational therapist work with him from birth to do assessments, to get the right equipment to him, and just to support him too. He had a club foot as well, so that was corrected. So there's been loads of therapy and support given to Bravin, but also to Naomi, his mum, because in communities like where she is in Nairobi, often children like Bravin can be seen as a curse, or, you know, that she did something wrong in her pregnancy. And so there was a lot of stigma around disability, and she felt very low, very lonely, very depressed. And Sense were able to show her that, you know, there are other parents out there in similar positions, and give her a little support network, which she said has been wonderful. In her words, she said, Sense International has saved me. And she said they're an organisation different to any other that I know. They don't just come in and do a quick sort of massage therapy. They really take their time with Bravin. They work on all of his senses. They work incredibly hard, even trying to teach him light and dark so that he knows when it's time to get up and have breakfast and when it's time to go to bed and sleep. So little things that we often take for granted have had to be taught to Bravin, and she wouldn't have had the skills to, or the knowledge to do that. So Sense International have massively impacted on their lives together. Bravin's dad isn't around, so it's just Naomi and Bravin, and she clearly was very, very grateful for the support that Sense International have given. And then Tabby and Sospita. Sospita is deaf, and due to having a hearing aid this week fitted. So the occupational therapist is going to assess him in a few weeks to see if he can catch up developmentally once he's hearing. Although there's a bit of a question mark over whether he could have some autism traits. And I actually did see a lot of behaviours in Sospita that were similar to Harry. So a lot of noise making, like Harry makes. Some banging behaviours, so he's sort of tapping his head a lot. Yeah, just little things that I could see a lot of Harry in Sospita. So I wouldn't be surprised, but he was so cute, and I got a little laugh out of him at the end because I was pulling faces and he grabbed my hair, because in Kenya they're not used to seeing blonde hair very often, and he was laughing, he was smiling at me. So that was really, really lovely to see. And we're going to see Bravin and Sospita again tomorrow. They're coming to the health centre with another girl, Charity, and her mum. So that'd been really good to see somebody else's perspective, a girl's perspective on how they're helping. And yeah, and then we went to feed the giraffes, which was incredible, really, really cool. So a great experience today, overwhelming, a lot to take in and think about, makes you feel like you want to just help them instantly. I think something like £10, 10 English pounds is the equivalent of 1,300 shilling, which would make such a difference to these families. And so it's so tempting with all the best intentions to give a donation for the families. But Elizabeth is out here with us, and she was saying there's a lot of work being done on educating visitors and tourists like us so that we don't do that, because what we don't want to be seen as is the Westerners that come in and save these families with gifts. And actually that doesn't help long term. It might be, nice in the moment, but it doesn't help them to help themselves. So it's very much about getting us to support Sense International so that they can then give the support and the expertise that is needed. So it's been a real learning curve for me today. Long day, I think I'll sleep very well, but I'm looking forward to seeing what tomorrow brings. Today we caught up with Bravin and his mum Naomi, and Sospita and his mum Tabby again, so it was lovely to see both the families. And we met Charity and Charity's mum Lynette. When Lynette realised that something was different with Charity, her limbs stiffened and she was really quiet, she took her from church to church to ask them for prayers, because that's a cultural belief over here, and to ask if the demons could be exorcised from Charity. The demons, she assumed, were causing the stiffening. The churches were happy to take money from Lynette to do that, but obviously it made no difference. And then another mother in the community mentioned the work that Sense International do, and Lynette took Charity along, and from there she's had specialist physiotherapy, and it's just transformed her life. So she's holding her own head up now, she's got no sort of muscle spasms in her legs, lots of flexibility, no pain. She's sitting up every day with support. So it's made a massive difference to her quality of life. And that's really the reoccurring theme, is that the work Sense International are doing is making their lives, you know, incredible. It's helping these children thrive and not just survive, which I think is a massive difference. So yeah, another really eye-opening day. We had a tour around the health centre and the facilities there. There were dozens and dozens of parents with babies getting immunisations, having checkups. There were some pregnant ladies in the maternity section. And the lady that runs the facility was saying they can see between 600 and 900 people every day in total in the complex. So that can be from immunisations to screening, a sort of a cervical cancer screening they offer there. What else do? They do the maternity ward and service as well. So incredible numbers of people that they're seeing day in, day out. And it really was busy. So completely eye-opening. Obviously the facility that Sense International now offer in terms of screening for blindness and deafness, that's had to stop because the funding has run out. But when we got there, one of the occupational therapists had actually screened 3 babies from mothers that had walked to get to the facility, walked quite a distance to get to the facility in the hope that somebody would screen their babies. And he said something lovely. He said, I took an oath to serve people, and that's what I will do. And that really touched me massively, just the passion that he's got to making these people's lives better. So yeah, it would be a massive shame if the work he was doing couldn't continue, because as I say, it's just transforming lives and making such a difference. So yeah, yet another amazing day here in Kenya. To visit one of the schools in Nairobi which supports deaf-blind students, and it was brilliant to see the staff, meet them, see the resources that they use, and actually they're not too dissimilar to the support and the resources and the strategies that are used back in the UK with people like my son Harry. So the same passion there, the same dedication, the same commitment to making sure that every child achieves and deserves the very best. So yeah, just a fantastic experience yet again. So I'm at the airport now, ready to head home after what has been a phenomenal trip. Eye-opening, incredible, inspiring, you name it, I felt it. It's been just an amazing opportunity to come and see the work that Sense International are doing out here in Kenya, and really humbling. And one of the things I was talking to one of the other people on the trip about was the fact that we're not leaving with a sort of a sense of pity or feeling sorry or low and depressed for the families we've met, because they are so happy and positive and strong and moving forward with the support of Sense International. So it's been a fabulous trip, and I hope you've enjoyed the vlog.